The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently tapping at my door. "'Tis some visitor," I murmured, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished my morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's staircase of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden, whose the angel's name will more, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, too still at the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. That is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," and I, or "Madam, truly forgiveness I implore, but the fact that I was napping so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I heard you. Here I opened the door wide, the darkness and nothing more." Deep into the darkness, peering long, I stood, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal I ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word spoken was whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered and echoed and murmured back the word "Lenore." Murmuredly this and nothing more. Into the chamber, turning all my soul within the burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is not something at my window lattice. Let me see what the threat is, and the mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more."
Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lord name is on the night's Palatium shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answers little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore.
But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word as of his soul, and that one word which he did not outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said nevermore. Startled at the stillness, broken by reply, so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I. What it utters, it is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmercifully disaster followed fast and followed faster. His songs uttered one burden bore, so my dirges of his hope, that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But then the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself into linking, fancying unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, gaily ghastly, gut and ominous bird of yore meant as croaking nevermore.
This I sat, engaged in guessing, no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes never burned into the bosom core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining. On this cushion velvet lining, the lamp light glowed o'er. But whose velvet violet lining, with the lamp lighting gloating o'er, she shall pass, nevermore. Then met thought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by a sharpened felt whose footfalls tinkled on the tuffered floor. Which I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and respite never nepenteth, from the memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepenthe, forgot the lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether the temper sent or whether the tempest tossed thee here ashore. Desolate, yet all understood, this desert land enchanted, on this home by whore haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there blind bond guilt? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell his soul with sorrow laden if, within the distance Adam, I shall clasp a Satan maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or friend. I shrieked up staring, get thee back into the tempest and night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plume as token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the plaited bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamp light o'er him streaming down on his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.